free treaty violations and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible Indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 65, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 87. Gatherings Cafe serves incredible Indigenous flavors centered in ancestral knowledge and where tradition meets innovation. Gatherings Cafe is open for breakfast and lunch, located inside the newly renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center. Visit gatheringscafe.com for more.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we have Arvina Martin on later on today, our political analyst. But first, I want to talk a little bit about All My Relations Arts. Tonight, there's an open house from 6 to 8 p.m., and we happen to have the artist here on with us, and I want to bring him on right away. And I know, Ray, introduce yourself. And I have a big thank you for coming on to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, my name's Ray Janis. I'm originally from Pajutahaka in Kyle, South Dakota. I currently reside in Minneluzaha, South Dakota, Rapid City. Lakota artist. I got a studio at Racing Magpie. Do a lot of visual art, graphic design, kind of my background.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on there. Earlier today, I was at the Four Sisters Market, and I got to sneak in to see, and I will be going right after the show to your art exhibit at All My Relations Art with the open house from 6 to 8 p.m. You know, I want to ask you something right away before we really get into your art. I have never, and I'm not a big connoisseur. My wife's an artist, and, you know, I do stick men, so I'm, you know, trying to hang with you guys. But I've never seen a collaboration like this before, where two artists are are on the same, two different artists are on a same piece, and I thought that was really interesting. Am I just hallucinating, or is that kind of a new
Yeah,
thing?
so it's very rare for any artist to collaborate with each other. Everybody's kind of just stuck off in their own world and doing their own thing. I think the cool thing about this is uh, me and Jim collaborated before, and we did a piece about the Lakota creation story, and then it kind of snowballed into reoccurring collabs, like maybe like once a year. And to me, it kind of feels like it inspires me, and it kind of motivates me to put my best foot forward and show my best work, because I'm like Jim Yellowhawk is a legend, and stuff that he does is like amazing to me. As a kid, I remember seeing his artwork everywhere. And then once I got my studio in Rapid City at Racing Magpie, me and Dwayne Wilcox we're studio neighbors, and we got to visit. And we were talking about the same kind of ideas and inspiring each other and trying to push each other forward. And we did a collaboration as well. And me and Sheldon Starr kind of been on a parallel path. We've been doing most of the same exhibits, showing up at the same shows, and it's like, hey, we should do something together. And now he has a studio at Racing Magpie as well, so it's like easy for us to all just connect and collaborate. And I don't want to say that we're the first of our kind that we're doing collaborations, but it's very rare to see stuff like this. A lot of people just go on their own and do their own thing.
Yeah. Well, it was very cool. One in particular piece I saw people were lined up, and in the middle, you could see on the right-hand side was your art, and on the left-hand side was the other artist, and there was a difference between styles big time, but it was so cool. I was just like, wow. And I had to look twice what was going on. Who did do you know the particular piece I'm talking about?
Yeah, so it's called Colas. It's me and Dwayne Wilcox. We collabed on that. We thought it'd be kind of cool, like to bridge the gap from. He was a ledger artist in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, and he's really prolific, legendary. And we thought, well, let's show like almost like a timeline of where it was, and like now what I'm doing with ledger art. And so my characters look a little bit more 3D, look a little bit more like a cartoon, and his characters are more flat and more. I feel like even though his are flat, I feel like they're more animated than mine. But yeah, we just wanted to be like kind of almost like, hey, we see each other and we like what everybody's doing, and we want to just push our art forward, and maybe it makes something new, or maybe it inspires somebody behind us.
It's very inspirational, and the question you probably get asked a lot is, who did what side first, or did you paint together side by side?
So with that piece, we actually talked about what we wanted to do before we even start drawing anything. And then once we came up with like an idea, and specifically for this show and for Shockwave Synergy, and I wanted to like play off of like these lightning and energy waves coming at you, and really modern take on ledger art. And so I was like, we should do like the bro handshake. And then, so I drew my side, and then we didn't draw the hands until we both were finished with each other's sides. And then we both sat down to measure to make sure that we could draw the hands right where they're shaking. So it was a fun process.
It's very cool, and I just want to remind everyone we're with Ray Janis, and he has a show at All My Relations Arts tonight in Minneapolis. His showing also is going to be from July 9th to September 5th. It's open house tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. So all you guys listening on your car radios, come on down and have a good time. I know there's going to be some some good meatballs there and some good food there, and really get to meet the artist. One of the things, another thing that I really like too, by just sneaking in there for a little bit, but I didn't see it lit up, but there was a burning wagon. And
Oh yeah.
I always wanted to start my production company and call it Burning Wagons Productions, but
Yeah.
it's just, I like that.
All of us as kids, when I think one of my friends' gamer tag was Wagon Burner, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of like westward expansion. And I was thinking about that and thinking about how I can make it something modern. And so that's a digital piece. I did that all on my computer, and I used Illustrator, and then I printed it on aluminum, and then the wagons printed on acrylic. So whenever it lights up, it actually does look like there's fire smoldering on the inside of it. So.
We have a lot of our white allies listening to the show, but I just say, good one on you. Oh, wow. Yeah. And so how long have you been an artist? And I know it's like asking you how long have you been Native American your whole life, but how long have you been doing it for a living?
Yeah, professionally, it's probably been about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Before that, I was in a totally different field, like working. I was in the health and wellness field doing data research. And I was working for the government at the time, and I was going back to school to get my graphic design degree. And then as soon as I got my degree, I studied under Marty Tubles Jr., and he really encouraged me and kind of like inspired me too to like just go out there and like see if I could make it as an artist. And I learned painting from Keith Braveheart as well. That's another a big name in our community. So I feel like, I mean, too, even painting, I like painting like on canvas. Like I only been painting since like 2019, 2020.
Wow.
So,
Let's get more into that. You got time for another segment, Ray?
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, we are Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back. We're with Ray Janis, artist, having an art show at All My Relations Arts. There's an open house tonight, and I'll be there right after the show. So we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio. Oh, wow. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
When we heal from our traumas,
When we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
I'm I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot. We are with Ray Janis, and he has a art show tonight at All My Relations Arts, and it's an open house from 6 to 8, and we're really, really happy to have him on. I just got to ask you something else, too. Native American Community Development Institute has a post on their Facebook, and there's a guy in a car. Looks like a Mustang convertible chasing a bison. Is that you in the car? Is that a self-portrait?
Yeah, that was my first car. It was a 81 Mustang notchback. So it's like it had T-tops. But I just thought it'd be kind of cool to like base stuff off my life, like what I really do. And ledger art too, like my ledger art is like more contemporary. I'm not really drawing me riding horses or anything. It's like my horse is a Mustang.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so it kind of to me it was like I kind of wanted to let people know, like, when you come in here, you're gonna see stuff that's not so much traditional art, but more forward-thinking art and more kind of in modern times art.
Yeah, I know. And one of the things that we talk about here in Native Roots Radio too is a lot of times you're a Native actor, you're a Native artist, and really you're an artist that happens to be Native that does art. And being pigeonholed is not a good thing. And so we like talking about that. And I'm glad you brought that up. Is that your style's contemporary? We are contemporary. We're still here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. A lot of artwork, like since doing art like full time as like a career, I would go to art markets and like I just recently started doing ledger artwork. My stuff was more digital, and I had some paintings and it was like more digital and collage type stuff. But I noticed that whenever I would draw a character that was in regalia, like the 1800s Lakota person, it would sell right away. And as soon as I put him in contemporary clothes, then people were kind of like, oh, I don't really want that. And I like the fact that now too, people are like noticing what my style is and what I like to draw. And I'm like, this is who I am. Like, I do like feathers. I still do like our regalia, but at the same time, I'm not walking every day in a full beaded war shirt on the street. If I was, you probably don't want to see me. Probably want to turn around with my war shirt on.
Easy there. I'm going to see it tonight. But no, I get exactly what you're saying too. It's like, hey, can you throw a teepee in on this picture? And it's like, no, this is 2026.
Yeah. I'd probably put I grew up in a trailer house. So I'd probably put a trailer house on one of my pictures.
Hopefully with the little porch hooked up to it.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, and I really like to talk about that, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because it's like you're a Native person, you're an artist, and you paint and you draw and you come up with ideas, and it doesn't always have to be, you know, a teepee and an eagle flying and to be Native art. And I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, a lot. Even whenever I do like logos for people, because I do like graphic design, and I'll send them, like I'm really into like minimalist logos where it's like you could just, I always think of like screen printing, like you could just screen print it with one color, and that's how I like to do my logos. And I'll send it off, and sometimes I'll get that back, like, can you make it more Native, or can you make it more Lakota? And I'm like, Lakota, I don't know how much more Lakota you need me to make.
Yeah, but I like your hat. I noticed that right away because I'm really into marketing too, and that's your initials, and it's a unique way to have it. And we're on the radio, so we have 20,000 people listening to us on the radio, so not everyone can see what I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
very cool. And
Yeah, the negative space on it is supposed to be a chanupa or a pipe. So this part's supposed to be the pipe, and that's the puff coming out of the pipe. So that's kind of, and then I added a little slash to signify that it's 2 letters on the side. But yeah, it took me a while. It's easy to work on everybody else's logos, but when you work on your own logo, it seems to take a long time.
Well, it's that old saying, the shoemaker's sons go barefoot because you're so busy making shoes for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. I see the pipe now. That's a good one. Right on. So tonight, what do we have in store? You're going to be able to talk to the group of people. I know paintings and your art's for sale, and people bring your checkbook, or probably better Venmo, because we know people can write bad checks. Oh, wow. Get that instant money. Oh, wow. Or bring cash too.
Bring cash, yeah. Well, I don't know if anyone carries cash anymore. We live in a digital world. At the show, but you'll see a couple digital pieces. You'll see a digital piece by me with the wagon burner. Dwayne and Sheldon collabed on this cool piece of One Bull. It's a piece Dwayne painted in the 80s and then reimagined through Sheldon's eyes, and he made it digital. And they blew it up to 4 feet by 8 feet. And both of our pieces are on aluminum, and they're lit up and with the LEDs, so that there's like a little bit of interactiveness to them. You'll see ledger work, a lot of contemporary ledger work. You'll see canvas paintings, and it's kind of, to me, it's like you're going to get like a good variety of artwork that's coming out of Lakota country. And it's just me for the past year in my studio at Racing Magpie, just going hard and making stuff. It kind of just culminates to this.
You know, I forget to ask this, but do you have a website that people, or an Instagram people can check your stuff out? Because we have people listening to us all over the country, and they won't be able to make it tonight. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yep. www.rayjanis.com, RAYJANIS.com. And then my Instagram is at rockboy, ROCKBOY.WLVS.
Very cool. Really looking forward to meeting you and seeing you interact with the community. One thing about All My Relations art is I'm always amazed, and I shouldn't be amazed, on all the great artists that they bring to show and sell their work. And you know, they've been doing it for so long. I don't know why I say I'm surprised, but it's a pleasant surprise to see the beautiful work that you have brought to our community. And I want to just give a shout out to All My Relations arts too. It's amazing.
Definitely. I really appreciate them. I was a part of when I was went back to school, and I was a part of a cohort called We Are Still Here through All My Relations in NACD. And I learned a little bit of animation under John Thunder. So this is my second time out here. So it's great seeing Angela and the team here, and Juliana. I have a good time every time I come out here. It's great. I love it out here.
Yeah, well, just a reminder, listeners too out there, is that the Twin Cities, and especially Minneapolis, has over 75,000 Native Americans living here, and over 115 different tribes represented. And we are the largest urban Indian place in the United States. So it's great to have you out here, and great to share you with the community and everybody else that comes to these shows. It's amazing. So one more time on how people can click on your art. We're about to end this segment, and I'm about to let you go because you got to get primed and proper before your big show tonight.
Yep. RayJanis.com, RAYJANIS.com, or on Instagram at rockboy, ROCKBOY.WLVS.
Thanks again so much for coming on. My producer's popping up some things here. One of the things I do want to mention too, it's at 1414 East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Come on to the open house and meet the artist and see beautiful art tonight. Again, thank you so much, Ray, and I will see you very soon.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Right on. Hey, right on. This was amazing. I just have to say, this was totally amazing. I can't wait to go back and see. It's always different, too, when you see the artists talking about their art and the stories that come in. And you guys will be very happy when you show up to this. And I will be there tonight. And also, it's going to be around from July 9th to the September 5th. So you can also stop in the powwow grounds and get a cup of coffee and go in your leisure and go in there if you can't make it tonight. And I know it's, I feel like when we talk about what's happening at All My Relations Art, it's really a beautiful thing, and it's constant, it's beautiful. We have great artists that come all the time, and tonight's no exception. So really, really cool. And I agree with Philip. He said beautiful artwork. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to be right back with our friend Arvina Martin. Ho! Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Grab delicious popcorn from Popcorn. You've heard me talk about Popcorn's delicious flavor, street tacos, zesty taco seasoning, savory spices, and a hit of lime brightness. It's amazing. Well, get it now, as it's only going to be available until the end of July. And remember, get any size popcorn flavor popcorn at regular price. Get a second bag of equal or lesser value for 50% off. Go to popcorn.com. That's POPPED corn.com. Enter the discount code MATT. That's discount code MATT. Enjoy your favorite gourmet flavor with popcorn.
Hi, this is Chad from AM 950. I've been telling you about Snap Construction, the company AM 950 Trust for all roofing and siding needs. Now that spring is here and summer is around the corner, now is a great time to find out why AM 950 trusts Snap Construction. Ryan, the owner, and his team at Snap Construction have been great to work with, and they have enjoyed working with our listeners.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners at AM 950. What a great group of people and a great radio station. I personally want to thank all the listeners that we've had the opportunity to work with. At Snap Construction, we look forward to working with many more of you when it comes to your roofing, siding, windows, and insulation. Don't just take Chad's word for it. Google Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the Twin Cities metro. We led this community with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate. Call today, 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or visit us online, snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 65, then Friday, sunshine with a high of 87. See Wicked, the Broadway sensation that tells the untold true story of the Witches of Oz. Experience the magic of the Orpheum Theater from July 8th through August 9th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster and use code TGSWIK for 25% off select performances.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are with our friend Arvina Martin, who's our political consultant here in the, I want to say, the two-state area of Minnesota and Wisconsin, but also nationally. And geez, Arvina, I wanted to bring this up right away. How come the Democrats can really vet people out that aren't good people as candidates, but the Republicans seem to attract more, and they win the presidency and things like that? I mean, it took a while for Graham Planter to finally say goodbye, but he had a lot of things going on there, and finally finally did leave. But again, Arvina, thanks for coming on, and great to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I personally think it is because the folks that are Democratic voters and Democratic Party folks as well want to make sure that their candidates, what's the word I'm trying to think of? That they are ethical, that they have qualities that are ones that folks like in leaders, and are not willing to support somebody who may be good on some things but shows all of these red flags. Like I guess our bar is higher in some states, or not states in terms of like states in the United States, but just that we have standards. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to sound any kind of way regarding, Republican voters. But we have our standards, and we are not okay with having folks that are below our standards be on the ballot if there's a way to have someone whose standards are higher. Using a lot of words to say very little, I know, but I'm glad that Plantner decided to step back, especially that he stepped back in time for there to be, I believe that the Maine Democrats are hosting a special convention in order to select who will replace him on the ballot. I wish he would have had the wherewithal to do it before the primary election. We all know the stakes of this election, and we all know that Maine Senator Susan Collins is vulnerable. I mean, it's a purple state, this is a really important seat for Democrats to win in order to flip control of the Senate. And I personally think that it is such a huge, you have to have such a massive ego to be in a situation like you're like running for Senate in a must-win state, knowing that you have all of these things in your background that are going to come up, and then not dropping out immediately once things start to come out. You know, this has been going on since last fall. I personally don't think
right?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, with the tattoo at first.
The
It was like, what
tattoos.
the heck is this?
Absolutely. And his behavior with women, and you know, making women uncomfortable, first of all, but now we have a credible accusation for sexual assault. And you know, the other thing, this race is such a big deal at such a huge pivotal time, and I just have a hard time with the selfishness of a candidate who think, because it's the same kind of mentality that the orange one has, in that I'm the only one that can fix this. To not believe enough in the coalition of Democrats and Democratic voters, that there cannot be anybody else to take this on, and that your ego is more important than, you know, taking this seat away from Republicans and becoming, you know, a firewall of sorts in the Senate. It's just absolutely wild to me. And the other thing I want to mention, you know, kind of in line of some of the conversations that we've had over the past couple of months, is that I'm really disappointed in a lot of supposed progressive Democratic, even Democratic socialist type men, who I have seen, you know, previously be allies and speak about, you know, in support of women that have been sexually assaulted or have had bad experiences there, and a lot of these guys are on social media saying, well, I find this very convenient that it's happening now, or I don't you know, believe that this is real, you know, it's just too convenient. And again, that is, you know, Graham Plantner is never going to see that you're caping for him, but there are a lot of women in your life that do see that and know that you are not a safe person to, should anything happen, or if anything has happened in the past, that they aren't safe people to share that information with, to disclose to, you know, and it's so disappointing. And it's again, unbelievable for me to think that that not only Plantner, but that there are people that say only he can do it. Because that's not the case. And I'm actually very disgusted by a lot of those comments, because it just puts us back, and it shows us that even as progressives, we have a lot to work on, and believing women should be an easy thing to do. I don't know.
Well, I agree. And one of the things that happened here in Minnesota, and I want to talk about Wisconsin too in a minute, but with Al Franken, and you know, things came out afterwards, and you know, I know people that were, you know, when he do photo shoots at the fair or whatever, that he did do inappropriate things to them. I know people personally. So it took a while to get him out. But when I hear talk of people that he was set up and all this and that maybe he should come back, that's where I draw the line. And, you know, if there's any station out there that runs Al Franken, I want to get off that station.
I mean, and he still has his defenders now. And there are a lot of people that say, oh, well, you know, that ruined everything. We should never have done that. And it's again, it's so wild for me to see people that may proclaim themselves as feminists, male and female, and let's add our non-binary siblings in there as well. Though I guess I've not personally seen any non-binary folks acting in this particular way, but to claim that one of these guys is the end all be all, and we have to put up with them, being inappropriate when they are taking pictures, making crappy comments that they claim are jokes and are not funny. And running for Senate in pivotal races that could very well determine the outcome or what happens in terms of control of the Senate. Not just winning or losing that seat, but if he stayed in the race, and that would be where all the money would go to. How does that affect races in other states? How does that affect Mary Peltola's race for Senate in Alaska, or Peggy Flanagan, I presume, that race in Minnesota, and spending all of this money on a candidate with so many red flags.
Yeah,
is terrible.
It is. And I'm glad that we've talked about this, and we've talked about the similar supposed awoken males probably the last few months here with you, and I appreciate your insight as always. I want to switch a little bit right now and talk about, I think this is the 89th time that Trump said the war is over, and now it's not over.
I don't know if that carried through the microphone, but those were two very heavy sighs. SIGHS, not SIZE. So you're absolutely right. It keeps happening, and our prices keep going up. Gas prices, it was going to take a while, even if things were done, for gas prices to go down. That's not likely to happen. This is going to change so much, because not only are gas prices going to go up, but fertilizer prices. I was reading an article last night about how there's so much fertilizer that I believe it is affected by the closures in the Strait of Hormuz, that there were so many farmers that were already unable to plant, to the extent that they normally would, because they didn't have fertilizers available. Well, this is going to happen now much longer, and this is going to diminish the food supply and lead to so much worse.
Yes. Hey, we were with our friend Arvina Martin, our political consultant right out of Madison, Wisconsin, one of my favorite cities of all time. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back with Arvina Martin. This is Native Roots Radio. Oh, wow.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back. This is Native Roots Radio, and we are with our friend, Ho-Chunk citizen, Arvina Martin, our political consultant, and directly from Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you so much, Arvina, for coming on. First of all, I want to remind everyone how they can get a hold of you and some of the services that you offer, and I just want to throw that out there real quick, and then we'll get deep into what's happening in Wisconsin and all over Turtle Island.
Yes. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Arvina Martin, and I offer lots of trainings about how to work with tribes and grassroots organizing with tribes, about tribal sovereignty, and the importance of working with tribes as fellow lawmakers and peer governments. And I also have lots of trainings about things like public speaking or any part of the candidate, any part of the political campaign process that you may want to consider. Also, I have, if you want to encourage more Native people to run for office, I do have some presentations about the importance of that, and particularly with school boards. And yeah, I'd be happy to work with you on anything relating to the intersection between politics, campaigns, tribes, Native people. And if you are looking for someone to help you make connections, send me a message.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And again, I've seen you in action, and compliments from some of the great political people. Hey, one thing, we've had a friend of yours, or at least an acquaintance, Francesca Hung, on Native Roots Radio, and there's a big article Associated Press with her, and I know she's a single mother who worked as a dishwasher, line cook, and is trying to do the same in her campaign. It's a swing state, but I don't know why, but it always kind of bugs me when we talk about put names and labels on our Democratic candidates, and one of the things is they're way far left or liberal limousine, and so I just, they're people and they want to help. And, we know a little bit about her, and, I just, some of these headlines are just, outrageous in a sense.
Yeah, they are. And I also think that, it kind of plays into what Trump, AKA the orange one, is trying to change the topic from everything from, let's not talk about Epstein. Let's not talk about rising gas prices. Let's not talk about rising food or housing prices, or the job market. Like, you can name anything. Trump doesn't want to talk about anything that has to do with him. Now he is throwing out his next boogeyman, which is communism, which I'm sure is being used to scare people away from, the farther left, the more progressive candidates that are winning primaries. Like in the vein of Zoran Mandani, there was and was it last week or the week before in the Colorado primaries where a young Democratic Socialist candidate beat out a 30-year incumbent in the primary. People are not happy with the status quo, and are more interested in electing people that are going to take a stand against what's happening, and are not seeing results from current elected officials on both sides of the aisle. And I personally, I understand it. I understand the desire to we've just seen so many changes over the last year and a half of this second term that are going to take at least a generation to fix. I mean, and we like all of the attorneys at the Department of Justice that we've lost, all of the scientists in any of the, like, not just food and drug, not just National Institutes of Health, but interior, agriculture. We have lost so much institutional knowledge, actual like field knowledge, and trust. And I've seen this called a bifurcation moment where there is a split, and that things are going, things are not going to ever go back to where it was. And you can look at that in terms of foreign affairs too. NATO has been weakened, and we can't just go back to being like, oh, just kidding. It was just him that didn't want to be a part of this. We really do want to. And our relationships with like even Canada, are going to be different going forward. And I think because of that, people are looking for bigger ideas, because we've lost so much in the last year and a half that incremental step forwards aren't good enough for a lot of people anymore. And I do want to also like reiterate, I know that you and I have talked about this again previously, but there are so many progressives that were told to hold their nose and and vote for the moderate Democrat that won the primary, because and be blue no matter who, because we need to win. It's imperative that we win. And I'm not seeing the same kind of response regarding progressive candidates that are now winning primaries, and there doesn't seem to be the same call for moderates to do the same. And I think that we need to recognize that the Democratic Party is a big tent party, and we need to work together to get the wins that we all want, and to get closer to a future that is more aligned with ours. And we are a coalition of moderates and progressives that need to stick together in order to defeat MAGA at the polls. And so I hope that the same moderates that asked for progressives to hold their nose are going to be willing to do the same thing this time.
Yeah, I agree. We got less than a minute, and one of the things that we talk about, and I think about often when we're talking, is like you have a daughter. My new producer, she's 25, so having 10 years of insanity and upside down world, how do they recover and how do they know what's true and not, or trust what's true or not now?
I mean, we are going to have to completely redo our media literacy and training, and making sure that kids are learning in schools how to find proper sources and ones that are legitimate, and how to properly assess them, and then how to properly draw conclusions for them. This is stuff that used to be taught in schools all the time, and it's not in the same way.
Wow. Arvina, thanks again for coming on. We haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. We've missed you and missed your insight. And thank you again so much. Again, look for Arvina at, well, you say it real quick. It's on LinkedIn.
Yep. Find me on
Martin.
LinkedIn.
Right on. Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation. See you tomorrow. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal